That's true. That right. She sippin' one wet and yeah, I swear.
Hey YouTube, it's your boy ZBK, Zachary Brown Coleman.
And I'm Exxon.
Welcome to another video of ZB Kicks in Sports. In today's video, we're going to be doing our predictions for 2K19, who we think are going to be a top 10 players in 2K a year from now.
Starting off with the borderline players below the top 10 players that we believe are going to be the top 10 is going to be John Wall. 26-year-old player who is amazing. John Wall, who plays for the Wizards, honestly is amazing. He has all the potential of being on the top 10 list. John Wall honestly has everything going his way. His layup package, his dribbling skills, his shot, honestly.
And that's something that he didn't come into the league with. He had to develop that to have the complete package. When he joined the league, he was already the fastest player in the league, amazing passer, amazing driver. But he now has that amazing three-point shot. For example, his game-winning three-point shot last season, which was amazing, and everyone was shocked by the shot he made. So the fact that he's going to continue building on that shot, the fact he's only 26, he should be in a great situation in a few years to be definitely a top 10 player, arguably the best point guard in the East, alongside Kyrie Irving. So then going in with another borderline player, we have Paul George dropping out of the top 10. We believe, even though he's in the top 10 this year for 2K18, by the time 2K19 comes out, he's going to be dropped out due to his lesser production with the Thunder, having to play alongside Westbrook. And it's unknown right now what team he might be playing on next year. Many people believe the Lakers. We already have Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, young players, the player alongside him. We have to wait and see what happens with George, what team he's going to play on next year.
So George, honestly, he's always been a great player, having that fadeaway shot, having that mid-ranger especially. Honestly, Paul George has the potential, but also I don't think that he's going to stay in that top 10. He's going to drop down, and I do think that John Wall will be passing him, but as of right now, we don't know if Paul George is going to keep his number 12 spot at the borderline. And
he is 27 and a player who relies a lot on his athleticism. And he had that devastating leg injury a few years ago that cost him almost the entire season. So you also have to see how his stamina is going to be going into his later 20s and early 30s. If his leg injury results in other knee problems potentially due to that injury he had. So coming in at the final borderline spot is the player who's only 21, has a huge amount of potential, will for sure be in the top 10 in the future, KarlAnthony Towns. KarlAnthony Towns, for the first 2 years in the league, was able to play alongside Wiggins, another young player, and build chemistry with him and the other young players in the T-Wolves. But now with an already established star, Jimmy Butler, joining them, he's going to have to change his game somewhat. And only at 21 years old, his entire career since high school, he's been the star of the team as well as Kentucky. So he's really going to have to change his game somewhat from being that player who's they always give the ball to. He's going to have to learn how to adjust to being sort of a more of a passer and more of a team player. So that's why we see him dropping out of the top 10, even though he'll very likely be a top 10 player for the next 10 years.
Yeah, talking about Towns, he is so young. He has so much room to work with. His talent right now, especially him, he's huge. He drives in. He has those trick plays that he does on people where he acts like he's going to pass it, and next thing you know, he's driving into the paint, slamming it down. So KarlAnthony Towns is developing his game. He's coming up with things he wants to do. So honestly, I do think that KarlAnthony Towns is a great player, and I do believe that he will be in the top 10 in the future.
So now let's start the top 10 countdown of what we believe will be the NBA 2K19 top 10 players. So starting off at number 10 is a player who has tremendous potential, trusts the process, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is only 23 years old, had missed the first 2 years of his career. This past season he played, but not that full season. He played around 30 games, but even though he only played those 30 games, he already is an 86 overall rating in 2K, and that's taking into account the fact that his stamina rating and his injury risk rating is extremely low probably right now. So if he's able to produce, this rating is based on the fact that he's healthy next season. If he shows that he's healthy, playing alongside other great young players with Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons, he should be in the top 10 for sure because he's tremendously talented offensively and defensively. He's just a puppy right now, playing only 30 games, being so underdeveloped. He has so much to grow, so he's the overall package.
Yeah, Joel Embiid, he has what the Sixers needed. Trust the process, which you guys might know. The 76ers, they started actually winning games when Joel Embiid started playing for them. They chanted, trust the process. Joel Embiid, I do believe, is going to be the top 10 player in 2019 of 2K.
If he's healthy.
That's if he is healthy, yes.
So now coming in at number 9 is a player who is now going to be the superstar of the team finally. He got what he wanted. His wish came true. Kyrie Irving of the Boston Celtics now. He's only 25 years old. He's going to have the opportunity now to be the star of the team with great players around him. When he came in the league, drafted number 1 overall by the Cavs, they were a terrible team post LeBron leaving and going to the Miami Heat. But then he didn't have any great players to play around. The best he had was Tristan Thompson, who was really young. He wasn't even shooting with the same hand then, but he was a left-hand shooter then, and Deion Waiters. So now he has players like Gordon Hayward and Al Horford, now and great young players like Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So he has a whole core around him to build a great team. And him being the point guard with his crazy dribbling, his amazing passing to distribute to those guys, arguably the best closer in the game. So he should have a great career in Boston. And by 2K19, after a year of playing there and meshing with those players, he should definitely be a top 10 player, bona fide superstar.
Kyrie Irving, after leaving the Cavs, I think he got what he wanted, and it's because he wants what's best for him. So obviously he thinks what he's doing is going to be better for him. So him being in this top 10 list is for him being in the Boston Celtics there to show that he has more potential than just being the second guy, being alongside LeBron. Kyrie Irving having this star above him, like he's the number 1 guy. He knows that he's going to provide for the team a lot more than he did for the Cavs. So his averaging for everything, honestly, is going to go up.
He no longer wanted to live in the shadow of the king. He wants to be the king himself in Boston and be a true star there. So now coming in at number 8 is Kawhi Leonard. So we believe Kawhi Leonard is going to drop somewhat from where he is standing right now. In 2K18, they have him currently as number 3 overall. And I don't see him getting any better than that overall-wise. I mean, right now, his overall is a 95, and that's a tremendous overall rating. I think it'll drop somewhat. I mean, it's pretty outlandish from 2K to have him that high. He's a great defensive player, but offensively, he's not as great as the other top players in the league, Westbrook, Harden, he's currently in front of. And playing in San Antonio, he doesn't get the same media attention the other players do. So I think 2K should take that into account.
Kawhi Leonard is a great player, yes. He has the potential of still being in the top 10, but he just doesn't have the top 3 skill. He can't be the number 3, like he can't be the 3rd best player. He has offense, he has great defense, but it's just that he has so much people around him with so much NBA knowledge.
Guys like Marcus Aldridge, the veteran, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. If he was to be the guy, the superstar in big media market cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, I don't think he has the mentality for that. He's really against the media. He doesn't like talking to the media. He doesn't like talking to fans or doing any media events. So I really don't think he has the mentality and the mindset to be a true superstar.
Kawhi doesn't care where he is. I don't think he cares about his money either.
Yeah, he lays low.
He lays low. He doesn't even use his money that he makes in the NBA for his own well-being.
I think there's a picture like this past year or the year before. The car he was driving was like a really old car, like smashed up car.
Nothing wrong with having a bad car, but just being an NBA player and him with the amount of money he has.
He himself doesn't believe he's the number 3 player in the NBA. I believe because he doesn't act like it. He acts like he's a great player in San Antonio, like a great player like on a college team. But if he was to play in a huge media market like New York or Los Angeles, the Lakers or the Knicks, the Nets. So, I mean, I don't think he has the mindset for it, and he would just get eaten alive, in my opinion. Not to discount his game, he's a great player. So now coming in at number 7 is Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis coming in at number 7 should be no discredit to his skill and his potential. He's a great player. Just as it stands, I believe by next year, there'll be 6 players ahead of him in 2K rating-wise. Playing alongside Cousins this season, it's going to be interesting because this second half of the season, Pelican fans believe that with Cousins there, they would have been able to have a chance to go for that 8th seed and possibly even play hard against the Warriors with those 2 big men and possibly give them a challenge. But it didn't prove to end up being like that. They failed to make the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting. Davis is really going to have to find a great form of chemistry with Cousins. And the coach, Alvin Gentry, there is going to have to find a good formula for them to play well together. So we currently have him at 7, which is no discredit to him. He's a great player. It's just that I feel like there's 6 players in front of him. Even though he's a great overall player, shooter, blocker, rebounder, even a dribbler for a big man.
Anthony Davis, he's very young. He has room to work with, so maybe even after this year, he will develop that game of a better player. So maybe in 2020, he's going to be a top 5 player.
Yeah, I believe so.
So I mean, Anthony Davis at this moment, going along with Cousins, is going to be tough because Cousins is a great player as well. Even though he didn't make our borderline or even our top 10, Cousins is great, and him being there is going to be difficult for Davis.
And also keep in mind that their on-court and off-the-court personalities, even though they both went to Kentucky, they are completely opposites when it comes to personality. On the court, Davis is really quiet. He's not a big showman. He doesn't try to embarrass the defenders, even if he's dunking on them. Cousins, on the other hand, can get really out of control. He has technical problems. He can get really crazy. And also off the court, he has his issues with the media, talking back against them, not appreciating if they say anything bad towards him. While Davis has no problem with the media, he's a really nice guy. So it's going to be interesting to see them meshing on the court and off the court in New Orleans, how they'll end up being together outside the court and also on the court practicing.
We did get a good look at them last year, but it's not enough to see.
Yeah, they had their injury problems.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday wasn't healthy. It's going to be interesting how the whole New Orleans Pelican team does this season. It's going to be interesting to see. So coming in now is the young, amazing Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. So this is probably outlandish, but even though he's only 22 years old right now, he's a tremendous talent in Milwaukee. He doesn't get enough attention as he should. The fact he's 6'11", borderline 7 feet, he was still growing this past year. He's tremendous. It's ridiculous. The fact that he can bring the ball as a point guard at his height, it's amazing. And the only thing he's lacking right now is a 3-point shot. And if he works with that great coaching staff under Kidd and Milwaukee and works on that 3-point shot, the sky's the limit for his game. He's very similar to LeBron as it stands right now. They both bring it up. They both are great under the boards, great athleticism. And LeBron, even though he's arguably the best player ever, he's never had that amazing 3-point shot. So if Giannis, even if he never has that great 3-point shot, if he has that borderline 3-point shot coming in the clutch that LeBron has, the sky's the limit for him. He's very comparable to LeBron James' game. And in Milwaukee, they have other great young players. Jabari Parker, who unfortunately hurt himself again this last season, had another serious injury. They have Chris Middleton. They have other young players to play alongside him. Thon Maker, he himself, with tremendous potential. So he in Milwaukee, even though he doesn't get as much attention as he's due, he's amazing. He's the best young player in the game.
Giannis Antetokounmpo being the foreign superstar, honestly, he has that whole European backup with the fan base.
It's
and
ridiculous.
Everyone.
We had an experience with him post-game this past season. The amount of Greek fans in New York City, it's ridiculous. The fan base he already has in a city like New York is crazy. You should see the amount of people with Giannis jerseys. You would never have believed he has that amazing amount of fans. And also the fact he has a deal with Nike already. Even in his home country of Greece, there's already a Nike basketball court with his whole full body on it. And he already has created a Nike sneaker that was sold, his PE at House Hoops, which I have. And I talked about it and did an unboxing in another video. He's an amazing talent who I can't wait to see continue to grow.
Giannis also, he's such a nice person. Even donating all of his money to his family. He doesn't even use all of his money that he makes from the league. He's making what? He was making what, like $100 million?
Well, his new contract's ridiculous. He's making $30 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, he's donating all of that.
$150, I think.
Yeah, he's donating all that money to his family. He doesn't. He of course he uses his money, but
his family that were in Greece. There's a story as a rookie. He was running to the game one day because he missed the team bus because he was at a bank sending money to his family back home. He grew up in a family that was pretty poverty-stricken, and now he set up that whole family in Milwaukee. He has a younger brother now who's playing at the high school basketball. His other brother, Kawhi Leonard, is going to be a redshirt freshman at Dayton. So now coming in at number 5 is the superstar, 2-time MVP, Stephen Curry. So Stephen Curry at number 5 is the same place he stands right now in the 2K18. We believe in a year from now he'll be in that same position 2K-wise, similar overall rating. I think he's peaked as a player. His 2 years as MVP and this past season with the Core 4 He has been an amazing player, making all the shots he's needed to in clutch situations, breaking three-point record. He'll end up having the all-time three-point record for most three-point shots made. He's a great player, and with that great, consistent three-point shot, there's no reason why he should diminish from the number 5 spot.
Curry, all he really has is his three, but he also has that layup package that no one can ever stop. His handles are crazy. So Curry being at that number 5 he's going to be there by like the age where he hits like a slow start, where he starts to lose his shot and his speed that he really relies on. Curry, when he's about like 33 years old, he's not going to be top 5. He's going to drop down, I believe. And Curry is where he is right now, and I do think that being the number 5 is a responsible play.
And playing for the best team in the league doesn't hurt. Being the favorite for him to win the championship.
And it's surprising the fact that Curry was still able to do what he was able to do with KD there. Yes, that's why he didn't win that. He was barely even an MVP candidate, Curry, this year, fighting against James Harden and Westbrook, being with the top 4 players on his team. It was hard for him to get what he had with having KD. So KD there is affecting him.
So now coming in at number 4 is James Harden, the bearded one. James Harden is a great player. He's going to be the shooting guard now, back in his natural position alongside Chris Paul. And there's no reason why he should move from the number 4 spot he's in right now. He is one of the favorites to win MVP this season and for the next few years, most likely playing with a great Houston team that's a challenge in the West. They should be in contention to win it all. So James Harden has a great overall game, shooting, passing, rebounding. He's a great player and deserves to stay at number 4.
James Harden he's also very young. He's 28, and he does have that big stage in his NBA career coming up. Being 29, hitting like 30 is where your prime time is. And James Harden still has some things to learn. He does take a lot of shots into his own hands.
And his defense needs to improve.
Yeah, his defense really has to improve for him to even be. He could honestly be top 3 if he was a defensive player. You can see him walking up court sometimes, turning around. Next thing you know, Westbrook is slamming it down, and he has no idea what's going on. So James Harden, instead of maybe celebrating too much, he gets back on defense and does what he has to do.
And now coming in at number 3, no longer being the number 1 player in our opinion next year, LeBron James will fall to number 3 spot. At some point, someone has to pass him on the totem pole. LeBron James has been the best player in the league since Kobe was in his prime. So at some point, someone's going to have to pass LeBron, and we believe at the age of 32, he'll be 33 this season. It's only right that finally someone passes him overall already. We believe even this year, Kevin Durant already deserves to be surpassed him. And by the next year, 2K19 is released, 2 players deserve to have been past him.
So, LeBron, he is an amazing player, don't get me wrong. He does deserve to be even. That's why we kept him at that top 3, because he's an amazing player. We couldn't move him any lower.
Age is undefeated, right? You have to realize so much in his athleticism.
So yes, he is an amazing player, but as age comes, there's no way he's going to be able to. He's going to lose his speed. He has that explosiveness. Don't get me wrong. He's huge. He can get through lanes and he can get to the basket with ease. But once you lose that speed a little bit, people start catching on. KD's going to be there. KD's young. He can play defense and everything. But LeBron James is going to drop, in my opinion, and going to drop.
And there's some points that you've noticed that in the past 2 seasons for sure. You already see the slow decreasing in athleticism in his game. It's going to be slow and gradual. It's not going to be that abrupt. But still, LeBron, if he has any serious injuries, he's getting to the mid-30s, going to be 33. So he's still a great player at number 3, don't get me wrong. But we believe 2 players deserve to be in front of him. Already the season 1. So now coming at number 2 is Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double. He's a great player. He proved that this season, being the lone superstar on a team, he was able to put up historical numbers only once done before, 50 years ago with Oscar Robertson. So now playing alongside Paul George, it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to still have a great plus-minus rating, still lead his team to a huge load of wins, having to change his role somewhat from being that player who takes all the shots, having to slow himself down a little bit. But we do believe that he'll be able to still produce at a very high level and by doing that, he'll show the Ronnie 2K and the 2K Raiders that he deserves to be in the number 2 spot, and showing that he's learned from what happened with Kevin Durant playing another superstar. He's finally learned to play with another one, with Paul George.
I was actually really surprised that they had Westbrook this year in the number 6 spot in the top 10 players. Honestly, Westbrook, he won the MVP last year. He averaged a triple-double. He's an amazing player. He has all the talent.
28.
Yeah, he's 28, not even at his prime time yet. I think prime time is from 29 to 32, 31. Westbrook, hands down, is one of the best players that has that explosiveness. You don't want to get in his way when he's going into the basket, and I think he's going to have that going along with him. He's even getting stronger.
Yeah, and he's still learning how to calm himself down at times. When he first came in the league, he would get out of the ham a lot. But when he would miss shots, he would just keep trying to shoot. Now he knows when to shoot the ball.
That's why he's getting a triple-double. His assists are doing a lot for him.
So now coming in at number 1 is the man whose shirt I'm wearing, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant deserves to be in the number 1 spot this season and the number 1 spot next season. Although many people had mixed feelings of Kevin Durant for leaving the Thunder the way he did, joining the team that knocked him out in the Western Conference Finals to win a championship. People think he's like a championship digger, but that should not discredit his game. He's an amazing talent, a talent the NBA has never really seen before. The fact he's 6'11", really 7 feet, although he doesn't like admitting it. The fact he's at amazing handles and great overall game, despite his size, it's ridiculous. Someone of his size would be a power forward center, but due to him being so lanky and so flexible and so athletic, he's able to do everything on the court and able to mesh with other great players around him. So that's why I believe he's the number 1 player this year and also next year, and should be known as the best player in the NBA.
KD, hands down, is going to be number 1. I believe that he will be the number 1 player next year. KD is honestly amazing what he does for his team. He has an amazing stroke on his 3-pointer, pulling up on LeBron James for that clutch moment in the finals, locking the game down. KD still has his explosiveness, his speed, his strength. Even though he doesn't weigh much, he's not afraid to take contact, and KD's shot is just never, personally, he's not going to lose it until he's about 35.
Durantula, the best in the game. Thank you for watching another video of ZB Kicks in Sports. We hope you enjoyed our analysis and our predictions for 2K19.
Don't hate on us. Our opinion.
It's just our opinion. You can make your own comments if you disagree with us in your prediction who should be the top 10 next season. As always, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.